All righty, guys. So, welcome to Two Qs with Lisa Ward, your financial advisor to millionaires with Chapelwood Financial Services. And today, our guest is Jessica. So, Jessica, tell us a little about yourself.
Sure. Thank you so much for having me, Lisa. So I've found myself now as an entrepreneur, but I was in the nonprofit world for over a decade, planning events, fundraising, started from the bottom as an intern and worked my way up to managing a territory, and then decided to start my own thing and started my consulting firm, FR Strategies, in 2019. So
Awesome.
I'm a mom to two kids now. I have my 6-year-old son, and then I have an 8-month-old daughter. So it's two different experiences working in an office and then having my own thing and realizing, maternity leave really doesn't exist when you run your own thing. Doesn't really exist in, like, I feel like anywhere in America, and that's a whole nother conversation. But being an entrepreneur and doing that, so I feel like I'm finally kind of coming out of the fog now.
Yay.
Might have been more than you wanted to hear, but
No,
that's
I
a bit
love
about
it.
me.
Love it. Love it. And congrats. That's
Thank you.
fantastic.
Thank you.
Yay. Well, first question I ask everyone is
Mhm.
what do you want that you don't already have?
And it's a good question that I've been thinking about. Um, your first thought is maybe like a jet. I want a jet. That's what I want. And honestly, probably 10 years ago, do you ask me, it'd be a physical item. But now, kind of the phase of my career and life, I think more about I want adult children. I
Okay.
want resilient adult children who are successful. And I say that because that's what I spend, 99% of my time doing, whether it's, working and managing my business to provide income, but then
Mhm.
also being present, um, and more engaged and involved in raising them. I kind of say, like, I'm a little bit part-time in everything, and trying to build in them what I have seen as missing from young people that I've worked with or encountered within
Okay.
my industry,
Mhm.
either as supervisor or even as a manager in my past career, but and even just people I interact with in my current role, whether it's for my business or just personally out in the world. But that grit and that resilience from some of us 80s kids, I feel like there's opportunity there.
Mhm.
And so, you work hard to be successful and provide the things and do the things, but then you don't want to make it too easy for them.
Yeah, don't
And
hand
so,
them everything. Yeah.
right. So you don't want it to be like, oh yeah, we're going to the beach 3 times a year. Okay, but it's like, I would love to be able to do that. But then, how do you manage um, the expectations for
Mhm.
them moving
Mhm.
forward? And so, my husband and I both are just constantly thinking about, like, what is it, like, what is that sweet spot that we're building right now together, with the company he works for, and then me running my own thing and finding those different pieces where we can have control and flexibility in certain areas where you may not, trying to kind of put the perfect scenario together, because
Mhm.
there's just a lot going on with two small kids and a business and a puppy too. I forgot about her, but
Ah, four-legged friend.
yeah, why not? Why not add another heartbeat to the situation? I had a 2-month-old and was like, oh, the shelters are full. Let's rescue her. Yeah, yeah, yes. But hey, I grew up with a dog. I wanted them to have a dog, and so we did it. But just trying to create that experience where they have those, like my son now, it's his responsibility. He feeds her.
Okay,
He has
good.
to, go, take care, get her toys or put her, up for the night in the kitchen where she stays. And, we're leaving the house. This is what she needs. And so he's having more responsibility and taking care of her,
Mhm.
which has also been nice for me. So a little,
Yay.
little less for me, but
Good.
Yeah.
Good, good. So you've alluded to some of the answers to question two,
Oh,
which is
okay.
what's
Yeah.
holding you back
Oh.
from achieving
Hmm.
those things.
Hmm.
I mean, shoot, you could still go after a jet if you wanted to.
Could, but the maintenance and, it's not the best investment.
Yeah, we've
Um,
got local airports that
yeah.
you could park it at. That's
Oh
no
yeah.
problem.
Oh yes. Yes. But I mean, it's always time and money. Those are the two things that impact anything.
Hmm.
Having the time, and then you want time to slow down, but you want time to speed up, and trying to be able to do everything all the time. And I've definitely scaled back my business in the last couple months, and like now having a second child who's little and needs a lot more
Hmm.
than a 6-year-old who's at kindergarten all day.
Right.
Um, and so, the time piece, and then, there's always money. And I joke from my previous life in fundraising that there's a sweet spot of wealth that um, where I say Biggie had it right, more money, more problems.
Yes.
Because there is that spot where like you don't want the surprise medical bill or car repair to cause a panic or mean that you're not paying a utility bill, or if you can't finance it, it's not happening. So where that's not scary, but that there's that tipping, like what is that sweet spot where it doesn't change you or cause you to make poor choices or, attract, negative attention, which can happen. Because it money doesn't buy happiness, but it sure helps.
Oh,
Um,
yes. It
and
allows more
so
opportunity.
Yes, absolutely. And so, we talk about that. My husband and friends just chuckle, and I'm like, when you've seen some of the things I've seen, and then you're like, I'm happy at this point, you know. And so keeping that, like, I don't know if it's grounding or but that perspective on, what is it that you want and what are you doing?
Hmm.
And then once you get it, what are you going to do with it? And how do
Right.
you
Then what?
steward it and manage it and all of that? Because seeing what first generation looks like versus second versus third, and then you get farther down, and it's just a whole different scenario
Hmm.
depending on the parents that gave it or shared it or showed it to you, depending how it works. So, we're always and by no means am I saying like we're not I'm not saying about like us wealthy, but like as you're raising kids, managing a business, working so hard, taking time to, build that safety net and do these things, like how do we do it in a positive way where we're in such a material world now and stuff and the new stuff and
The
um
jet.
yeah, the jet, exactly. And how to make it all work.
Hmm.
Um
Have you, is your 6-year-old old enough to kind of grasp some of that and sees that no, mom is actually working? She's at home maybe, but she
mhm.
is working. Have
Yeah.
you, like,
Uh,
are you teaching him anything? Like, what are you
yeah.
guys doing there?
Yeah, so well, school likes to do fundraisers, and there's a lot of them, and
Mm-hmm.
they're all very small. And so he started having to earn his own money to participate. And so we got him a wallet. And so whether it was, he hauled sticks to the curb for, trash day, or he took, the trash out for us, but things above and beyond like making your bed. You don't get paid to make your bed.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so like, oh, you want to help me? Okay, well, do this, and this. And then when he's like, hey, I got this thing, I want to do the fundraiser at school tomorrow. And it's different things. Like they can buy a juice box at lunch or ice cream, whatever, something very small, like $1, $3. Okay, go get your wallet. Well, maybe I don't need to do it today.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like, do I have it? And he was like, I have it. You know what I'm going to do? But and same with the ice cream, the ice cream truck drives through and he's like, I want it. You have money. You work.
Yes, I
I,
do.
I do. You're right. I do work, and you should too, to be able to get that. Because there's just so much where it's like, oh, we can be out of uniform, it's $5. Okay. Where's your wallet?
Mhm.
Yeah, okay. I think it's worth it. There's been a couple times where he's in like, no, no, I'm not paying for that today. I said,
I
okay,
love that.
but that's fine. That's fine. And then, too, when like, grandparents send money or, somebody like aunt or uncle's here hands them $5, buy ice cream, go do, get something at Target. He puts it in his wallet and he's like looking at his budget, like, can I do this? I was like, I don't know, can you? And
Fantastic.
yeah, so we're, baby steps trying, but
Oh
still
yeah.
like just use the credit card. I'm like, that is still money and definitely a lesson a lot of people need to learn even into adulthood.
Oh
Like,
yes.
this is still money. Will you just put no, no, you don't just like he even convinced a babysitter to use her credit card to buy him ice cream. And I
This
said,
kid's gonna own a business one day.
I I say it all the time. Like it's frustrating right now. But his his negotiation skills and like creative thinking where you're just like, okay, all
Mm-hmm.
right,
Mm-hmm.
we have to keep managing this so it ends up in a positive direction.
Oh
Uh,
yes.
but it's funny because I said, oh, did he show you his wallet? And she, no. I thought, okay. Didn't know the ice cream truck was coming. He has a wallet. It's his responsibility. And she's like, oh, I said, I know it's bizarre to me
Mhm.
that ice cream truck takes credit cards now, but that's a whole nother thing.
Oh.
You can't just, it's not just cash. I was like, okay, I will here, let me get his wallet. He's paying you back. And she's like, oh my God. But no, I think it's important. Like that's, why I'm working and, why, at least for me, my why doing all these things is like helping take care of my family, but you know, on both sides of it, running my business so my son sees an example and my daughter will see an example, but also that I can still be present. Like my mom was at home with me, which was great. And then she went back to work when we were older and we didn't need her as much.
Mhm.
Um, and, so being able to do that and also then staying relevant, keeping my toe in things. So then when they are in fourth grade, fifth grade, whatever, and I'm mainly just a chauffeur taking them thing to thing to
Yeah.
thing, it's like, okay, I can, I still have skills that are useful and valuable. And plus I love what I do. Working with nonprofits and doing something that, um, is beyond just hitting numbers or sales goals. I'm not just selling reams of paper, has been important to me and something. I mean, that's what my whole career has been based on since I got out of school, which is a
Awesome.
really long time ago now.
Ash. That's
I
okay.
know, I know. I just got the mailer for like reunion weekend and I was like, oh,
Okay.
that came out of nowhere. Like, thank you for that reminder. But yeah.
Love it. Love it. Love it. So if you had a piece of advice to the one that would have initially responded with the jet,
Mm.
what would you give yourself?
What advice?
Yeah, to yourself.
I
What would
mean,
you say?
it's just like key, like you've got to come up with a plan and work it, like figure out if that's truly what you want and what's going to make you, happy, like how are you going to do it? And
Mhm.
not making excuses, because I think so many people are so quick to blame or make an excuse like, well, I can't do that because XYZ. No, remove the excuses and figure out what your plan is. And you might not achieve it in the first go around, but you keep trying and revising and that's where I talk about like the grit and like desire to dig in and do something that's hard and uncomfortable or even scary because like risk reward, you take a bigger risk, you can have a bigger reward. Okay. But like you've got to be able to actually take the risk and be motivated to do that. Um, and and especially like my business, that was the scariest. I was like, I have worked within the structure of a company or an organization my entire life. And then it was like, well, here I am, just me.
Mhm.
And it's been great. And then being able to, hire people I previously worked with to collaborate with me on projects and doing those things has been awesome. and it's like you don't know what you're getting into till you get into it. And then it just kind
Exactly.
of takes a bunch of different paths and directions that I didn't see coming. But again, just doing it. And clearly doing what I'm doing now isn't going to get me a jet. That wouldn't not not the path I went down,
That's okay.
which is fine, which is fine. Very,
And
very
goals
happy with my
change.
choice.
Yeah, goals
No,
change over life.
well, and to that point too, like college me, I was going to be, moving to New York, working for a PR firm, doing all these things. And then I ended up interning in nonprofit, loving nonprofit, staying in nonprofit. And then it was like, oh, yeah, I'm just going to keep traveling and doing all these things. And then it's like, oh, now I'm getting married. Oh, now I have kids. Okay, what are my priorities now?
Mhm.
And evolving and shifting with that as experience different things and saying like, this is okay. I can do this right now. And then I can totally shift gears again and go back to working 80-hour weeks if I want to. But that's not what I want to do right now. And having, getting to travel and go and do, which is fun, but like now I'm like, unless
Mhm.
it's a vacation, which I mean, with kids, it's not really a vacation, it's a trip.
Right.
Just parenting in another location.
Mhm.
But
Especially at those ages.
oh
Yes.
yeah, well, like as soon as the 6-year-old got like into like carries his own bag and just sits on the plane and relaxes, it's like, okay, let's start over.
Mhm.
Let's throw an infant into the mix.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, just evolving with being comfortable, changing direction,
Awesome.
and then leaning into whatever that
Whatever
direction
that is.
is.
Yeah. Like being
Uh,
Gumby and
yep.
just going with it.
Yeah, we said that on my fundraising team all the time. We got to be Gumby with it. We got to be Gumby with it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's true. Like, it just whatever you're doing, just do it well
Yeah.
and be proud of it. And you really can't go wrong.
Yeah. That's
But
awesome.
yeah,
That's awesome. Well, do you have any projects coming up that you would like to share or
I'm just, I've again, as things evolve, I've been focusing more just on event planning and being an extension for nonprofit teams.
okay.
Because especially coming out of COVID and some of the staffing changes and, that not having events for a while and then events coming back and events coming back with a vengeance, how people are
Yes.
looking at their staffing model. And also now with inflation in the economy and all of that, how people are looking at staffing costs and overhead and all the different things. So then to have me come in and just act as like an extension of the staff to be able to move their fundraiser or event across the finish line has turned out to be a lot of fun. And, obviously also very helpful for the organization. So I've gotten to do a lot of different things that way where I was doing some more strategy, working on fundraising or development plans and different things like that. But it's evolved into more kind of an interim logistics support person. So
I
I've got a
like it.
couple fall events and then the spring, which is not, and that's it. Like I focus more on fall and spring, which is generally how the fundraising calendar falls because
Mm-hmm.
it's Texas and everybody goes to Colorado or their ranch in Montana and we don't hear much from anybody in the summer,
Right.
donor wise. And so it works out nicely because then kids are out of school and I can enjoy the
Yeah.
blazing hot summer here in
No, so
Texas.
you also go
So
to the mountains. You get
yeah,
out
I would,
of
yeah,
town.
for like a week. But but yeah, so it's I've got one big one this fall. And then a couple smaller things possibly in the spring that are percolating. So um but I did have to say no to some winter things. It just gets so hard with like end of year. And like again, for me, saying no, that's a really
Mm,
hard thing. Especially, you're building this business, you're scaling it, and then to say no to work. But I knew it wasn't going to be good for anybody. Like I
yeah.
was going to be split in two and not able to give the time that I need to life right now and then to the client too during
Mm-hmm.
a busy time of year. I was like, can we talk in 2025? I feel
Yes.
better, and
Yeah.
just, but not trying to like limp it across and just be like, okay, we're gonna do it. I was like, this is not the year. Like, you're not gonna be happy. I'm not gonna be happy. And I really wish I could say yes, but there was just,
Mhm.
no way around it.
Yeah, there's
So
only so many weekends, especially that last part of the year.
and all the things. And then school gets out. They're like, oh, it's December 1st. We should stop. Like,
Yep,
we don't
nothing
need what?
exists in December.
Like, we're not doing anything. It's fine. And then they get sick. They're always sick on top of it too. There's just like, so, but yeah, so I've got, a handful of events I'm working on with, some availability for some smaller things to come in. But yeah, but I'm excited to see what next year holds. And I've been very lucky this year with clients and being supportive of, maternity leave and phasing back in and doing all of that. Um, and so I'm just a lucky gal.
Awesome.
But
That's fantastic. Yay. Well, I look forward to seeing all of that and more.
yes,
Heck, your 2025 might be even more spectacular.
yeah, it could
So
be.
thank you for
Yeah,
joining us,
thank you
and
for
I
having
hope
me.
you guys tune in for the next episode. We'll see you soon.
Thanks so much. Bye.